Jonstealth here, and today we're going to level up your engineering to max level as quickly as possible with the amount of the cheapest resources as possible. So the first thing you want to be doing is that when you are doing engineering, you want to pick things that are going to be the cheapest costs, right? So right now, I would say when you're starting from anywhere from zero, the 0 to 50 mark will be the gunpowder. So with that, you can see the mats for the gunpowder. It is going to be 5 charcoal, 2 flints, and 1 saltpeter. So what I would do is that I would just buy that in the auction house. So let's go over to the auction house or trading post and go see how much they're going for. And just buy it and get hit to 50 because you want to be spending that time with the harder levels, because the harder levels are going to be the time that you want to be farming it, because they're a lot more costs. They cost a lot more, right? So what I would do is that saltpeter, I would just buy a whole stack, 40 gold, nothing. You get 500, you get a lot with that. And then the saltpeter it's like 13 gold, probably 20 gold. Somebody just was buying at 60 gold. Yeah, you have 300 uses of that, so you might not need that much. So, and then the wood I would never buy from the auction house. They're 7 coin a piece, so I would just go right outside and just farm a little bit and then just grab it and then just go make it, because it doesn't cost that much. So it does cost a bit, but I would you'd rather just farm it and grab it. So once you hit level 50, I believe you can start making spears then. Technically you could use that all the way up to 100 for the gunpowder, so keep that in mind. Once you get to level 2, basically to the second tier, or basically to level 50, you could technically do this route of making spears, which you get 200 per spear. It's very simple to do as well, but I do still think the gunpowder is better, so probably like you could choose which one's going to be the faster route. I do think the gunpowder will be faster because you could just buy it and then level it up. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So let's see if I can find that. So yeah, this is level 50. So you got the difference between these two, the whisperwood and the timber, the lumber, right? So this gets a little bit more complicated, and you have to go get ingots and coarse leather. So with the ingots, I would probably just there's a really good spot in, where is it, in Windsward. So there'll be like this wolf area, so I would just like farm this whole entire area right here. And then I would go a little bit south into the First Light and just go farm around this area, because there's actually some good areas to farm, and then you'll definitely be full, and then you can come back and then use smelt it in Windsward, because that's just quicker, and just smelt it there and then just put it in your storage and then go around again to grab that. You could easily get, I think, probably that whole route you'll get at least 1,000. Depending how full your server is, though. Like if it's very, very full and you have like a high pop server, then it's kind of tricky. So I'm not too sure where you would really go for that, but like I find like this is like ideal place. It's so close, and there's also star metal right here and tons of ore right here, right at this location. So go here to farm that, and then once you have enough resources, just make that spear. I will check out to see how expensive whisperwood is. Like I think it was going for like dirt cheap, like really, really cheap. So let's go see how much it is. You do need 11 of them. Let's see, whisperwood, yeah, like 30 cents. So mind you, this is not too much of a common thing, but the thing is it's very, very cheap. So say if you want 100, it's like 40 gold, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I think it was the other one was timber, right? Timber? No, not timber. It was lumber. Way more expensive. So you basically save a lot of money right now. That's basically the current price on my server for the whisper wood. I think once people start realizing how cheap it is, and you can use it for crafting, that's really going to be the 9-day difference. So let's see, 11. So let's see how much that was. Let's go here. Times 11. So it's 3 gold to make one. So if you want to make 100 of them, it's 300 gold. You know, so yeah, it's actually pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap to make about 300 of those. Iron, I would just farm. The coarse leather, you could just buy it in auction house, trading post. Let's go see how much the trading post is going for. So raw hide wasn't too bad on my server. It was like 5 cents or something like that. So let's go see. Raw hide. Okay, now it's 11 cents, right? So you could buy that. Boom, get 500. Change that to coarse, go make that, and then that's basically how you would do that. So I would think you would need quite a bit of that. I would just only level it up to the next tier level, and the next tier level will be basically this, the werewood spear. So this is going to be the hardest. So this is something that you're definitely going to be farming the most. This is like the cheapest thing. Like this, you could just easily farm. Like go to that route, farm that. If you really want to go farm your own leather, there's some good areas. I do find like Cutlass is pretty decent. So if you go around this whole area, this whole coast area, there's tons of alligators that drop like 63 just like per hit, per alligator. So you can get 63 if you really wanted to save some money that way. So werewood is going to be by far the hardest to do. So that's where you're going to be farming. You'll be farming in this area. There's some trees right here. That's a good spot to farm werewood. I find that's probably the easiest spot to farm werewood. There's not too many other spots I really will see. There's like not that much actually. So I'll post a picture right here. There's a few spots I'll just link right here, or just show you the picture and just check that out. So that's what the locations that the werewood would be, and then just farm that area till you get enough planks, and then you just start crafting that until you hit 150, and then when you hit 150, you just start crafting the iron. The iron is, you just need iron again. Like go cheapest route. This becomes pretty cheap. So the barb vine and this, right? So I'm gonna see. The barb vine might actually be a better bet because you actually get higher gear score with that. So mind you, whenever you're crafting something, put on your gear score items. So like if you're doing armoring, I think I have armoring ring on my guy right now. Yeah, right here, +5. So make sure you put those on because it has you're upgrading your gear to be a little bit stronger, and you can get some good stuff, right? So barb vine. Let's see how much. Okay, it's 13 gold. No, never mind. It's a bit expensive now. This was like 5 gold yesterday, and now it went up quite a bit. I got a lot of this when it was cheap. So let's see. Ironwood should be a little bit cheaper. It's not too crazy to get. So the planks are a little bit cheaper, right? So, but like, if it was me, I would probably almost get the barb vine. Once these two sell out, I'll probably get the barb vine because once it hits 14, you might as well go with the barb vine, which upgrades your gear score, right? So, but yeah, that's basically what you could do. Let's see, or you could just craft it yourself. Some of this stuff is kind of cheap, and then if you're crafting it yourself, make sure you put on the yield gear, which is like right there. So whenever you craft stuff with the wood, put on your yield gear, you'll get more bonuses. So if you make 100, you'll get like a bonus of 20 to 30 or something like that when you put some yield gear on. So that's going to take a lot of the time for that. So mind you, this is not going to be the fastest thing to be leveling up to 200. It does take quite a bit of time. But if you are trying to farm ironwood, by far, this area, the Blighted Shrine, is going to be the best. So this whole area is surrounded by ironwood, and there will be a lot of people farming that area, so keep that in mind. I think there's some places here, so I'll link some more images right here. There's some of the images right there where you can go also farm, and whatnot. So go farm there for ironwood. So it does take a bit, but the thing is like you might as well get that done and out of the way, right? So go to those areas to farm ironwood, and then that's pretty much it. You know, like it does take a lot of time to do that. So what I do recommend, that's what I was saying in the beginning, I do recommend to get from 0 to 100 as quickly as possible. That's going to be the fastest and the most easiest, but once you start going from 100 to 200, that's going to be the longest portion, and it's going to take you the longest time by far. So I would save up some gold and then get that from 0 to 100, and then after that go farm. Like literally it's gonna just be the weirwood that's gonna take you the most amount of time, because you need a lot of weirwood, and then also the ironwood up here is gonna take you the most time. But the iron stuff is like always going for really dirt cheap on my server. Could be different on your guys' server. If it's really cheap, sometimes you can max out to 200 with no problem. But most likely you're going to be spending at least a bare minimum of like 10k just to get to probably 150, depending on how populated your server is. On low pops, like things are going to be pretty expensive, so sometimes it's just easier just to farm it yourself. So that would be the quickest way to farm it to 100 to 200, I mean. And yeah, you could get some pretty good items, you know, like you could build some pretty decent weapons and stuff like that, you know. So like you could get some really good weapons, right? So some epics and legendaries. The most important ones is like getting these proficiency boosters. They're really good for farming, so getting a 15% yield is really nice. So it can definitely sell for quite a bit. You know, you get some good bows, you know, to craft, some good legendaries to craft if you have some schematics. You know, these are kind of like the weaker schematics. You can actually find a lot more better legendaries, but they take time to find it, right? So like, you know, you can make a legendary sword, legendary axe once you hit like 188, you know. So it's like some really good ones, some like crit and stuff like that, dexterity, some pretty good stats, right? So you know, it's a lot of fun. It takes time, but you can craft some really good gear, so that most people usually use, right? So you know, so yeah, hope you guys like that. If you like the video, like and subscribe and share it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.